Welcome everyone to the Get Seen, Get Successful Masterclass. I am so excited that you're here. We are going to get started in 4 minutes, but I am here to answer your questions, to help make sure you are going to get the most out of this masterclass, and to connect with you personally before we get started with the training. So you have heard me talking about this masterclass a lot over the past couple of weeks, and that is because what I'm going to be teaching you here is exactly what I have done to get featured all over the place in literally dozens of places, and use those features, those totally free features, to organically double my audience in 2017. Now, I know that we are going to have all levels of people in terms of your comfort level, in terms of your experience with publicity, joining us for this training. And so I want you to know that no matter where you are, no matter what your comfort level is, no matter what your experience is, no matter if you think, oh my gosh, I am not ready for publicity, or I'm so ready and I've got to learn the next level steps, this training is for you. It includes all of my best stuff. It includes my tips and tricks and the things that I have done to use publicity to great advantage in my business. And so I'm really excited to dive in with you to go into each and every one of those things. So if you are ready to learn that stuff, then this is for you. And I want you to know that this is going to be a really interactive training. If you're joining us, if you're watching this live, we are live inside my Facebook group, Life with Passion Society. And so I can connect with all of you personally. And this is the place for you to get your questions answered. This is the place for you to figure out exactly how this applies to your business. This is the place to bring your confusion, bring your doubts, bring your fears, bring your concerns. In fact, if there's anything that you want me to answer before we start the training in 2 minutes, I am happy to do that for you as well, because my goal for you here with you joining me is that I give you exactly what you need to go out there to get seen, to get successful, to grow your business, and to experience the confidence that comes from showing up in this way, both for yourself and for your business. So I see you all joining me live now. I'm so excited to see this, and I'd love to hear who's joining me and where you're joining me from, and maybe even what you most hope to learn or why you decided to show up live for this today in the comments. Let's blow this up. Let's make this fun. Let's make this as useful as possible for you. 1 minute to go, people. 1 minute. So I want to know, what do you want to know about getting seen and getting successful? What's your big goal for this training? I also want to point out to you that if you're just joining us, if you just popped into the group, or maybe you just saw me live, I'm so happy that you're here. If you haven't gotten an email with the workbook in it, the link is in the description here to go ahead and grab that. If you want, I created a 5-page workbook for you that walks you through the exact steps we're going to be talking about. It's a fillable PDF so that you can download it and you can, either print it out or, type into your computer. Make sure you save it to your computer first. Don't open it in your browser tab. But so that way you can walk away with tips and tricks. Or if you prefer to write in your journal, that's totally cool too. But if you want that workbook, grab it at the link in the comments. And you'll get it instantly as soon as you put in your name and email address. So know that that's an option for you. That is something I created to go exactly along with what we're talking about today in Get Seen, Get Successful. So hello, Shauna in Texas. I went to grad school at Baylor. I love Texas. I still get down there quite a bunch. Have great, great, great friends from there. My horses are from Texas. Love, love, love Texas. Great, great, great. Gives me the warm and fuzzies. And Velda says, hello from sunny Bermuda. Caitlin says, I'm hoping to learn how to get leads through visibility and where the best places are to do that on social media, etc. Okay. Kalila's question, do you have to make sure to have a website up and running before pitching? If not, where do readers, listeners who want to know more about you go? Oh my gosh, it's such a great question. Okay, I am going to answer that later in the training, Kalila. Thank you for asking that. So it's noon 01, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Welcome to the Get Seen, Get Successful Masterclass. My name's Christine McAlister. I'm so excited that you are here for this training. We are going to dive in and I'm going to share with you my exact best tips and tricks for you to be able to leverage the power of visibility to grow your business. So you're here. If you're watching this live or on the replay, I want to invite you to show up for yourself fully by shutting the million browser tabs that you probably have open right now, shutting those, shutting your email, turning over your phone, pulling up the workbook. If you don't already have that, you can grab that in the link in the description here. Open up that workbook and prepare to take some notes. Prepare to take some notes, okay? This is your invitation to show up fully for yourself in this way. The other thing that I would love for you to do right here at the beginning is to answer this one question. What is your biggest question for this training? What is the biggest question that you want answered on this training? I want you to take a minute and think about that and jot it down, either in your workbook or in your notes, somewhere in your journal, on a piece of paper, whatever. If I don't answer it during the training, I will answer it at the end during the Q&A. That is my promise to you. Speaking of the end of this training, I want to encourage you to stick around until the end because I'm going to tell you how to get your hands on a totally personalized bonus free from me. I know you're going to love it. You got to stick around till the end to get it. Mallory says she's excited about this. Me too, Mallory, obviously. I'm so happy you all are here. I'm just giddy with excitement. So be sure to stick around until the end to get your hands on that free bonus. Now, I want to hear from you and know exactly where you are in this process. I want you to tell me, in terms of publicity, have you ever pitched before? If you have pitched someplace, an article, a podcast, anything like that, are you happy with the results that you've gotten? If you haven't pitched before, what has stopped you? Have you ever pitched an article or yourself to appear on an interview podcast before? And if so, are you happy with the results? And if not, what has stopped you from pitching before? Okay, Mallory says she has not pitched before. Thanks for sharing that, Mallory. Let's talk a little bit more about you while the rest of you are typing and answering that question. You're in the right place for this training if you are currently in business and you're looking for your first paying client. If you've been in business for a while, but you're stalled on sales and you want to rejuvenate them. If you're making consistent sales, but you want to sell more. If you want to figure out where to pitch to get in front of your ideal clients, if you want a pitch that gets noticed, if you want to use your features to reach more people, grow your email list, sign more clients, and make more money in your business, then you are in the right place. Let's see these answers rolling in. Mallory says, not knowing how to present myself and not knowing the content to pitch. That is why you haven't pitched before. Thank you for sharing that, Mallory. I totally get that. Shauna says she hasn't pitched either. Brittany says, I've not pitched. I'm unsure of content and approach to take. Cool. We're definitely going to dive into that. Caitlin says, no, I haven't because I have a hard time positioning my expertise. Awesome. these strategies that I'm sharing with you should shift that, because not only are we going to talk about specific strategies for pitching, but also specific strategies for getting more confident around pitching. So let's dive into the workbook. The workbook has a place for you to answer your biggest question. What's your biggest question for the training, for you to jot that down? And then also our next topic, which is the 3 fears that hold most people back from visibility. And I want to know if you can relate to number 1, number 2, or number 3. Velda says she hasn't pitched. Nancy says, yes, I pitched, and I've had a bi-weekly column for nearly a year because of it. Woohoo! I want to strategize my content better for my business and also get seen by bigger publications. Perfect. I love that. I love that, Nancy. Thank you for that. Awesome. So we've got people at all different levels here, which I love. And here's the thing, like, no matter where you are, there is a level of publicity that is right for you right now. And so that is exactly where we're going to dive in. So the 3 fears that hold most people back from using publicity, and I'm wondering if they are yours too. Number 1, what if I pitch and never hear back? What if I go to all this trouble at pitching and I never hear back, right? Is that you? Do you have that fear? Number 1, put it in the comments if you do, number 1. Number 2, what if I do get accepted? What if I pitch and I do get accepted? And then I act like an idiot on the interview and no one reads it, right? What if I pitch and I don't get accepted and I never hear back? Or number 2, what if I pitch and I do get accepted and I act like an idiot on the interview, or my article stinks and no one ever reads it or listens to it? That's number 2. Number 3, what if I don't have anything of value to offer to other people's audiences? What if I don't have any expertise? What if I don't have any content to share that anyone would ever want to listen? Why would I ever pitch? Kalila says, yeah, number 2 for sure. You're afraid of getting accepted and sounding like an idiot. Totally. And Mallory says number 2 as well. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, and Brittany says, also, if you don't hear back, do you follow up, and how many times? Great question. Awesome. Yes, we're going to get to that as well. So thank you for sharing. I'm glad to know that, you know, these fears, which I have had too, I'm not alone, and you're not alone either. Nancy says number 2 as well. Awesome. So we talked about these 3 fears, and I'm looking at my notes, by the way, because I'm live with you here. I don't want to be switching back and forth on tabs. I want to make sure I cover everything I have been preparing for weeks to share with you. So here's why I believe that publicity is a really smart marketing strategy for you, girlfriend. Because when I started my business, even though I was a Facebook ads expert, because I've been running Facebook ads for other small companies in my previous business for as long as Facebook ads had been around, in my business, in this business, I spent so much on Facebook ads to get my first clients that while it worked and I got clients I loved, it ate up my profits and it left me frustrated. I knew that this was the work that I was meant to do. But looking at what I was spending compared to what I was making and desiring to be a smart, profitable CEO, I knew it wasn't going to be sustainable like that, right? I knew there had to be a better way. I even had some hard conversations with my husband about why I wasn't bringing in the money I had been, even in online marketing for other people. And I knew that there had to be a better way out there, right? Like, I knew this was the work I was called to do. I knew this was my thing. I knew this was my expertise, right? To empower other women to quit their jobs, run their own businesses, grow their own businesses online and freedom-based. This business also mattered so much to me because if you have been following me for any length of time, you know that the real inspiration behind why I started this business was the full-term unexplained stillbirth of my daughter Maeve, right? And so Life with Passion, this business, is such a huge part of her legacy. So it mattered so much. It matters so much to me that it is a success from every angle. And so I really began looking at what are the most strategic ways that I can grow my business, right? And that is when I got obsessed with publicity. I spent months honing my pitch, doing interviews, pitching and writing articles, and I've had some huge success with that. In fact, one day I woke up to find that one of my articles had gone viral and gotten shared across the web. I appeared on a podcast that had people banging down the doors to my Facebook group, like wanting to connect with me further, right? And that's happened more than once. I've signed clients who have found me in these ways. And as those things happened, I knew I was onto something. I knew I wanted to share all of this with you as well. I also realized that there was a simple process I'd been using to this. And it's just 4 steps. It's just 4 steps. Those 4 steps are in your workbook if you've got it. 4 steps to get seen and get successful. So here they are. Number 1, get clear. Get clear. Who do you want to pitch? This is about identifying your ideal media outlets. Number 2, get primed. Create that perfect pitch. Get primed to get featured, baby. Number 3, get pitched. This is where you get accepted. This is where you get featured. This is where you share those features. Number 4, get pumped. Get pumped because you are going to convert those features into leads, into clients, and you are going to repurpose those features so that you can continue to use them to grow your business, to grow your list, to grow your Facebook group, to grow your audience, to grow your client base, even as the gurus talk about, while you are sleeping, right? While you're sleeping. Oh my gosh, I just remembered that movie. It's so good. Anyone else love the movie While You Were Sleeping? So good. Okay, so here's what you're going to discover today. You're going to discover exactly how to identify your ideal clients, or your ideal media outlets, leading to your ideal clients, your ideal media outlets, whether that's podcasts, websites, interviews, blogs, whatever, how to identify the right ones for you so that you can pitch them to get in front of your ideal clients and get those ideal prospects on your list. Number 2, we're going to talk about how to create the perfect pitch so that you get accepted, featured, and seen as the expert in your niche. And by the way, this works for any business, any niche. Number 3, how to maximize the heck out of your interview and show up confidently, knowing that you have something of value to add, your interview or your article. And number 4, to use your features to attract ideal clients and increase your sales on autopilot so that you can grow your business faster, as fast as you want. Ultimately, I'm here to tell you how you can get seen and get successful. Now, first, I want to share, we're going to go more in depth onto each of those 4 steps. But first, I want to share the results I've gotten by using the 4 steps so that you can see what's possible for you too. Okay? Number 1, I've gotten my articles shared by influencers like Arianna Huffington, by the editors at the Huffington Post. You can look on page 4 of the workbook if you want to for a little sneak peek. Page 4 of the workbook has a screenshot of my article getting shared by Arianna on her business brand Facebook page to almost 1.5 million people. That article is called Why Procrastination is Such a Problem for Highly Capable People. And maybe that's even how you found me, because it really did go viral and blow up. She shared it on her Twitter page too, which I didn't include there, but which has an audience of 2.5 million people. I have used these 4 steps to land over 20 podcasts where my ideal clients hang out, including a yet to be released feature on Entrepreneur on Fire, which is a best of iTunes podcast and number 1 for entrepreneurs in its category. Number 3, I have used these 4 steps to get over 750 people joining my list and over 500 people joining my Facebook group from these efforts alone. And as I mentioned, my Entrepreneur on Fire podcast episode has not even aired yet because they record way ahead. So these results are like a little premature because I know that's going to skyrocket things in a crazy way. They have 1.5 million listens a month. That's over 50,000 listens a day. What? I've used these 4 steps to become a regular contributor and score homepage features on the Huffington Post's business and lifestyle sections, as well as the homepage of Thrive Global, which you'll see in that workbook if you've got it. The 4 steps have helped me to work with more clients than ever before in my business, and also to connect with high-level book agents for a potential publishing deal, because I have written a book that is meant to inspire others with my story and the exact steps I took from experiencing the tragedy of losing my daughter Maeve, turning that into triumph and creating a legacy for her and creating the business and life of my dreams. As I see, we've got some new people joining us too. Bridget says, hi from Montreal. Oh, hello. I'm a PR specialist for my own company. I love it. I love it. Velda shared number 2. She identified with the number 2 fear that we talked about. And Shauna said number 1 and 2 for sure. Awesome. Thank you. Keep commenting. I love it. I love that you're thinking about these things. Jot down your questions, but also know that if a question comes up as I'm discussing something particular, you're also welcome to ask it in the midst of that conversation. I don't want you to forget them. So if something comes up and you're like, I want to know more about that, feel free to drop it in. It's my goal for you to get the most value out of this training that you possibly can. So now that you've heard a little bit about what I've used these 4 steps to do for me, where do we start? Let's start at the very beginning. Step number one, get clear. Here's where we're going to talk about how to identify your ideal media outlets, your podcasts, your websites, your blogs, your radio shows, your whatever, to pitch so that you can get in front of your ideal clients and get them on your list. Bridget asked, I missed the 4 steps. Will you send us a Word doc? Bridget, I just introduced the 4 steps. You haven't missed anything. If you want the workbook, you can go to, if you didn't already register for this, you can go to the link in the description and grab it. When you sign up, you'll get the workbook delivered automatically, instantly to your email. If you've got the workbook already in your email, download and open it. The 4 steps are there, and you're just joining us at the perfect right time. I just introduced them. We're talking about number 1 in detail right now. Number 1 is get clear, identify those idea media outlets. Now, here's the smartest and best way to do this, and this is a little fill in the blank if you're in your workbook if you've got it. The smartest and best way to do this, this is my hack, okay? This is my hack for discovering exactly where you want to show up, where to appear, and where to start. I want you to do some informal market research. Okay, it's very simple. If you know me, you know I'm big on simplicity, focus, and self-belief. So let's keep this really simple. I want you to do some informal market research. Now, if market research makes you think of like phone surveys and whatever, no. I want you to ask people in your favorite Facebook group, or in your Facebook group if you have one, or on your email list, or all 3, depending on how big you want to go with this. I want you to ask them, what do they listen to, or what do they read, right? What do they listen to? What is their favorite podcast? What is their favorite show? What's their favorite Facebook Live show? What is their favorite site to go to for inspiration? Where do they love to read? So in my case, a lot of my ideal clients had certain podcasts to share. Maybe that's even how you found me. A lot of my ideal clients read the Huffington Post. A lot of my ideal clients appear or read certain business blogs. Where do the people in your favorite Facebook group or on your email list or in like your own Facebook group, where do they like to listen or read? Get their input. Now, I want you to remember this one thing. If you're trying to decide between, is it better to go on a podcast or is it better to write an article and pitch that? The answer is, chances are your people have very similar listening or reading habits to you. So if you are like, I never listened to a podcast, that's not my thing, but I love reading articles online, then chances are very, very good, like 90%, that your people are readers as well, because we tend to attract people like us. Chances are good that your people are readers as well. Now, if you have a mix, then that's going to be a place that you can dive into a little bit further and find out, what am I more comfortable with? Where do I want to pitch first? Don't overthink this though. That's the bottom line. Don't overthink this. We're looking for a place to start here, to start to get you more momentum, or to create a strategy if you already have some momentum, to create a clear strategy. So start with what you know, and then get some informal market research from your peeps to back it up. Okay? If you've got the workbook, you're going to see a little screenshot I included for you. That's a hack for how to find additional podcasts once you get some suggested by your people. When you look up a particular podcast, you can then click over to the related tab and see what podcasts are in the same category. And also you can see the ones that were the ones that are in the same category, and also the ones that are also subscribed to by similar people. Okay, so the ones that were in the same category, whether it's business or health, wellness, whatever, spirituality, and then also the ones that were subscribed to, right? So like the example that I gave you is Entrepreneur on Fire. So what do people who listen to Entrepreneur on Fire also listen to, also have subscribed to, meaning they're committed to it. So once you get your initial list and you're like, but I want to do more, then you can look at the related tab. That's like an advanced trick in iTunes, either on your phone, which is where the screenshot's from, or on your computer to find related podcasts. Cool. All right, step number 2 is to get primed. This is where you create your perfect pitch. I don't have perfect singing pitch, but I do have a darn near perfect podcast and article pitch so that you get accepted, featured, and seen as the expert in your niche. And yes, this works for any niche. Yes, this works for any niche. Erin says, there's my brilliant friend. Hello back to you, my brilliant friend. So happy to see you. Hi, Anita. Welcome. So here's the frame that I want you to take with your perfect pitch, because rather than just telling you this is exactly what you do, like in terms of say this and then don't say this, I'm big on teaching and helping you to understand the why behind things so that you can take and you can apply this wherever and however you choose to pitch. Here, I want you to think first about who you're pitching to. You're pitching to podcast hosts. You're pitching to magazine and blog editors. You're pitching to people who are, quote, very busy and important, as Bridget Jones would say. But I want you to remember that they are just people looking to do their job well, looking to grow their company if it's their own company, looking to provide, results according to their job description. Like they are just people who are looking to do their job well. So when you think about what does it mean for them to do their job well, here is the number one thing these gatekeepers are looking for, because they are gatekeepers. They are like the keepers of the gate to get you to the other side where you're going to get that publicity, right? What is the number one thing these gatekeepers are looking for? They are looking for something that gives value to their audience and therefore to their company, whether they own it or they work for it. They are looking for something that gives value to their audience. All right? Now, they're looking for something that is going to get listens, or it's going to get reads, it's going to get views, it's going to get engagement, it's going to get likes, it's going to get shared, it's going to get commented on, it's going to get recommended. Keep that in mind. They are looking for something that's going to provide value to their audience. That is the thing that gets you accepted. Okay? If you're looking at the workbook, that screenshot there is a screenshot of me Facebook Living my podcast interview with Dana Wilde. Her podcast is called The Mind Aware. I loved my episode with her, and she loved my pitch because I provided her a lot of value, and I was very clear on how I was going to serve her audience with what I was going to show up for, which we're going to talk about in more detail. She loved my pitch so much, she got back to me the same day. She said, I love your pitch. This is awesome. Let's do this. Here's the link. Let's go, right? So it really can be that easy when you come from a frame of giving value to the audience that you're pitching to, okay? And by the way, we're also going to talk about how you can get your hands on my perfect pitch in a little bit. Here's what your pitch needs to have. I know that you want this information, so here is exactly what your pitch needs to have. Number one, it needs to have specificity. Okay? It needs to have specificity, meaning do not send the same pitch to everyone. Yes, you can start from a template, but don't you dare send the same pitch to everyone. It's going to be obvious when you do that, and you will get overlooked. Okay? So just throwing that down a little bit there. Yes, it's easier to just click send on the same, with the same pitch. Yes, it's also obvious when you do that, and yes, it will get overlooked. So your pitch needs specificity. What do I mean by that? You need to customize it to that particular outlet, to that particular podcast, to that particular website, to that particular audience. You need to show them that you know their style, that you know their audience, you know the topics they love to cover, and if you can, I highly recommend that you find something in common or someone in common with them, which means, all of that means, yes, you have to spend time researching all of this. It's very important. You don't have to spend a ton of time, but if you go in blindly and you're just like, here I am, hire me because I'm the best and I'll be awesome, they're going to be like, why? I don't know what this girl's going to do for me and my audience. Delete, right? No, I don't want that for you. Customize it to that particular audience and that particular outlet, which means you need to do some research on it. You also want to include a subject line that will get opened. How do you write a subject line that will get opened? Because it's going to be different for everyone. Answer the question, why do they want to open this, right? If you're pitching, I recommend that you include the word pitch in your subject line, and I recommend what exactly you are pitching. What exactly you are pitching, the best topic you think that you are going to pitch, that you have to pitch. Speaking of topics, your pitch needs to include three to five, but 3 at a minimum suggested topics. Make it easy for them. Now you might say, well, I don't know what topics to listen to. This is where that research comes in. I don't know what topics to pitch, not listen to. This is where that research comes in, right? So that you know what you want to talk about is a good fit for their audience. How do you even figure out your content to talk about? I want you to think, here's my hack for this. I want you to think about the exact things that you could talk about all day, every day. And then I want you to relate that to their audience. Okay, so in my case, I talk a lot about simplicity. I talk a lot about focus. I talk a lot about overcoming procrastination and perfectionism. I talk about how to quit your job. And I talk about how to use tragedy and transmute that into triumph because of my personal experience losing my daughter. Now, when I talk about simplicity, when I talk about focus, when I talk about procrastination, I always tie those into for entrepreneurs, right? To grow your business. I'm not just talking about it like as it relates to anyone in general, because I know that my audience is entrepreneurs. And I know that they struggle with overwhelm, which is where focus and simplicity come in. I know that they struggle with procrastination because they tend to be perfectionists. I know they struggle with self-doubt, which ties into all of those things. I know a lot of them want to quit their jobs, and I know a lot of them want to grow their businesses, even if they're already out of jobs, right? Who doesn't want to grow their business if they're an entrepreneur? So I customize those few topics that I could talk about all day, every day, and I also know our pain points for my ideal clients. So that's a great place to go if you've done that market research to know where your ideal clients are struggling. Transform that into suggested topics that fit the audience of the place that you're pitching. Okay. Next, I want you to make it about them. I want you to make it about them and how you're going to make them look good. This is your job. Your job is to deliver an awesome article or an awesome interview that is going to get a lot of reads or a lot of listens and make the host or the editor look really good because they brought you onto their platform. Make it about them and what value you can bring to them rather than the other way around. So your pitch needs to be about them and the value that you're bringing to them, okay? Also, what are you going to do with this feature once it comes out? How are you going to even add value after they choose to allow you onto their platform? Are you going to share it around? Are you going to help them get listens or views or reads or comments or engagement or recommends? Do you have an audience of any kind? Include all of that stuff. Include it all in your pitch. Do you have past features? If you have any past features, include those. And by the way, you don't have to. If you don't have an audience and you don't have any past features, that's totally fine. But if you do, be sure to include them. Everybody starts with their very first feature, with their very first pitch. And so everybody starts from ground zero on this, right? So if that's where you are, that's totally fine. In your pitch, I also want you to be sure that if they are asking for something specific, and sometimes they do, you know, some podcasts say this is exactly what I want you to include in your pitch, include these things. They may even give you a form to fill out. Some websites are the same. If they ask you to do that, do that. Like, don't try to circumvent their process. They've set up their process for a reason. Okay? Remember overall that you're talking to a real person. Let them see your excitement about the potential. Let them feel that you want this. You don't have to pretend to be somebody that you're not, because ultimately, if you pretend to be someone you're not in the pitch and then they're like, okay, I want this person to come on, and then the real you shows up, it's going to be really confusing, and it's not going to be aligned. It's not going to be congruent. It's not going to be what the host is expecting or the editor expected. So be yourself, and remember that you're talking to a real person as well. Make it relatable. Those are the elements for a really amazing pitch that's going to get noticed. We have a question about if there's going to be a replay. Yes, there's going to be a replay. If you signed up for this, you're going to get emailed the replay as soon as it's available. Cool. Thanks for asking that, Tanya. Step number 3 is get pitched. This is the feature, get featured and convert section, where you use your features to attract ideal clients and increase your sales so that you can grow your business faster. Who doesn't want that, right? Take a little sip of water. If this is your first training with me, you know that I randomly burst into lines of song, so welcome to that. Keeps your attention, right? Okay. I was a major musical theater person and theater person in high school. Love drama, not real life drama, but stage drama. All right. How to get pitched and get featured. Here's the thing. We talked about how to create a perfect pitch, right? The next thing is that, girlfriend, you got to put yourself out there. This is where you stop researching and obsessively writing and wondering if this is good enough. And this is where you get out from behind the scenes and you push send. And I'm going to challenge you to push send on your top 5 outlets based on that research. Okay? Your top 5 outlets based on that research. Then, if you've created a pitch like I've talked about, you will get accepted. And when you get accepted, you can begin then to prepare. What do I mean by prepare? Well, if you're writing an article, you're going to know when it's going to go live. If you're appearing on a podcast or a radio show, you're going to be scheduling your interview. So you're going to know exactly how long you have to prepare, and you can start to do just that. You'll find out the flow of either the article or the podcast episode from the host or from the editor, and you can start to answer the questions, write to that, or brainstorm around the things that you want to talk about, get some ideas down on paper. But remember, this is where that perfect pitch comes in. You've already suggested 3 topics to talk about, so chances are your host or your editor is going to go, I'd like for you to talk about that one. And you're like, cool, now I know what to talk about, right? Here's the format, I'm ready to go. I recommend if you're going on someplace live that you make notes that you can look down at, especially when you're first getting started and getting a feel for this. You're probably going to have some nerves. If you prepared ahead of time, you're not going to run out of things to say because it is a conversation if you're appearing somewhere live. I also recommend doing whatever is going to help you show up more confidently, preparing your mindset, and perhaps practicing with someone, right? Having someone ask you the questions and answer them and write them down. Or if you're writing an article, I recommend having somebody else read it to double check it for you, right? So that you can get out of your own head, somebody who's going to be objective with you and not just say, it's awesome, I love it, because they don't want to hurt your feelings if it's like a spouse or you know, a boyfriend or a partner or whatever, or somebody who like is just going to tell you it's awesome no matter what because they love you. You actually want somebody who's going to be objective, right? I want to help you to show up confidently because you're clear on what you're talking about and where you're going, right? So I also offer this to you. You are not going to say something wrong. And here's why. You're sharing out of your expertise. You're sharing out of something, you've chosen a topic that you could already talk about all day long because it's out of your expertise. In this article or in this interview, you are just going to be scratching the very, very surface of what you know. The very surface. So you're not going to say something wrong because you already know so much about this. You absolutely can share expertise on this topic. What would be wrong is if you didn't put it out there at all. What would be wrong is if you sat here and you got scared and decided not to take action, not to move into step 3, not to pitch because you thought you didn't have any expertise to share, because you do. All right, now, when you get featured, when you appear, you've got to make sure to offer something that's aligned with your ideal client, something that your ideal client wants, which is where that market research comes in. Offer some kind of freebie or opt-in, which 99% of the time you will have the opportunity to do in an article, whether it's in your bio or at the end, or in a podcast. That's just expected. That's just normal. So you want to make sure you're offering something that's aligned, not just one that you happen to make up and it's done, but it doesn't have anything to do with what you're going to be talking about and is not going to bring in the right people. Be prepared also by knowing what you want them to do once they sign up for that freebie. So what do you want them to do? Are you going to put them in like an email funnel that is going to tell them a little bit more about you and connect you further and build that relationship? Do you want them to join your Facebook group where you're going to connect with them personally? Are you going to make them an offer to get on the phone with you? What are you going to do? So think about aligning the process all the way through, playing the tape or playing the MP3, right? All the way through. Aligning your feature to the end goal. Help people get to know you better and build that relationship. Invite them to join your group too. So if you're following along in the workbook, the screenshot here is my procrastination article. And at the end of that procrastination article, I knew when I put that out there that I want to attract people who are entrepreneurs. I know a lot of people who aren't entrepreneurs struggle with procrastination. I did when I wasn't an entrepreneur, but I knew I want to attract people who are entrepreneurs interested in getting more business, interested in getting their first or next client, but finding procrastination was a barrier for them. So I included a resource there at the end called the top 5 things to do to get your first or next client. And it converted really, really well. Hundreds of people signed up for that out of that article. Now, step number 4 is to get pumped. Get pumped, okay? I want you to promote and repurpose and do this on autopilot so that you can grow your business faster and have people joining your list and getting to know you and your business while you asleep, okay? So that means that once you have a feature or once you have an article, you promote it everywhere on all of your social channels. I'm going to give you some suggestions here in a minute. When you promote, this helps your positioning and credibility as an expert and is also of great value to your host too, right? Like we talked about in your pitch, make sure you mention you're going to do this for them. Get it seen or heard, and not just by people who are already listeners over there on the platform. Get it seen or heard by your people too. Get it seen or heard by people who are just discovering you. You are a little bit famous now, right? I want you to repurpose it also by revisiting it. The online world is a busy space, And people will forget even in a week. Most of us feel like we're talking about our offers or our features or whatever ad nauseum, but the truth is we're not. When we start to feel that way, then we probably have just started talking about it enough. So bring it up once a month, or if that feels like too much for you, once a quarter. Remind the people who are already engaged with you, remind your followers, and reintroduce it so that your new people can find out. You could add your favorite features in like your onboarding welcome email, like here's a little bit about me, right? Check out this top article that got featured on the business homepage of the Huffington Post. For example, check out my favorite podcast interview where I talk about X, Y, and Z, for example. Okay? Another thing to do to help you be able to promote and repurpose this stuff is be sure that when your stuff goes live, you screenshot it, right? All the screenshots that you see in my workbook were things that I captured so that I can talk about them again to provide that visual. So screenshot everything. I also recommend that you be specific about why people should listen. A bonus is like if it's a listen, you provide timestamps for what you talk about at each point along the interview so people can skip around if they want. Maybe they don't want to sit there and listen for 30 minutes, but they want to know this 5-minute section, right, that you talk about. Or provide the bullet points if it's an article so that people understand what they're getting when they click. That's really important, okay? Now, here are some ways that you can specifically repurpose. You can put it in your email newsletter if you have one. You can share a recording to YouTube. You can take an article live stream about it and put it in YouTube. You can share to your Instagram page if you use Instagram. You can share to your Facebook page. You can share to your Facebook group or someone else's Facebook group. You can put it on Twitter if you use Twitter. You can put it on LinkedIn if you use LinkedIn. You can put it on your personal page and share that win, right? Bunch of options for you now, okay? Kalila asks, do you have the full welcome email sequence, landing page for the discovery call, etc. in place before pitching? No, because it's not going to go live right away. You know, you don't have to have all of that. You just need to have an idea of where you're going to go with it. Yeah, so you don't have to stop yourself before you start because there's so much to do, but just know that when you get accepted, like, okay, now it's time to do that, right? So, because you may even want to make some edits based on the flow or exactly what you're going to be talking about. So you give yourself that permission as well. All right, there you have it. We flew through those 4 steps, but there they are. The 4 steps to get seen and get successful. Now, here's why you showed up today, right? You're tired of feeling like you can't grow your business because you don't have the capital to invest a lot in Facebook ads. Like maybe that's you. Maybe you're wanting something that works for you and not just a system like plug and play that worked for someone else so that you're making money in a way that feels good, right? These 4 steps apply to any niche. They apply to any place that you want to pitch. Maybe you've seen other people getting featured and you wish you were too, but you felt overwhelmed on where to start, right? Maybe you want to differentiate yourself and stop comparing yourself to everyone so that you become irresistible to those you're able to help. And they know, like, and trust you already when they get connected with you, rather than being like totally cold traffic. It's time for you to get a big leg up and get that traction I know you want, to get your features and get them in the right places, whether this is your first or your next feature, and to increase your confidence that you do have something to offer. These 4 steps are the exact steps I have taken to double my audience and book out my program with more clients than ever before, having more fun than ever before, getting a wider reach than ever before, without throwing any money, 1 penny, at Facebook ads in 2017. I know it works for the normal entrepreneur, no matter what niche you're in, because that's who I am, right? I'm just a normal entrepreneur. So, with that said, you know why you've shown up today. You know what you're here to do. And helping you to get featured and get seen and get successful is exactly why I created the Get Seen, Get Successful mentorship. I'm putting the link in the comments right here. The Get Seen, Get Successful mentorship is a 30-day immersive private mentoring blueprint to help you quickly get featured so that you can get known, liked, and trusted faster, build your list, and book more clients. This is 30 days, a month long, high level, private, totally private, you and me, one-on-one mentorship, which gives you specific steps designed for your business to move you toward getting strategic publicity. You're going to get media training on exactly how to show up in an interview or my edits and help selecting a photo for your articles. My support to design an aligned freebie and funnel so that you can use your features to convert people to your list. And access to the exact proven pitch that's landed me features on the Huffington Post, Thrive Global, the Today Show's Parents blog and Facebook page, and over 20 podcasts, including the Best of iTunes Entrepreneur on Fire. That's a little bit of what you get. And with my support, you are going to create an aligned list of media outlets to pitch, your perfect pitch that you can pick up and take once and again, because my goal is to help you understand the how so that you can take it and pitch way beyond the 5 pitches that you and I are actually going to create together for your preferred medium, whatever that is. Now, on this page, you're going to see some of my clients' results, talking about how working with Christine was the turning point in my business and my confidence needed. Her famous line, "That is figure-outable," will always be my calming mantra. I love that. That's from Allie. I went from being very frustrated, stressed, and doubtful to being peaceful, productive, and successful. Christine can help you build a business that you can sustain and that works with your life and that you love and enjoy. Christine helps to put things in simple steps. I'm now in a position to quit my job, and it's all because of Christine helping me to get the clarity and focus I needed. I love that so much, from Mallory. I thought I could figure things out on my own, but I needed guidance, and Christine provided just that and so much more than I could ever ask for. Megan says, I went into our time together with just a vague idea of what I wanted to do. I had nothing except myself. I wrote down where I wanted to be at the end of our time together, some pretty big goals, and guess what? Every single one of them have been met. So here's what we're going to cover. In week 1, we're going to cover getting clear. We're going to get to know your chosen outlets so that your pitch grabs their attention. We are also going to determine your top 3 Zone of Genius topics to pitch. In week 2, get primed. Each of these is a private call with me, one-on-one, just you and me, so that you get the full value out of this. In week 2, you're going to create your perfect pitch and learn how to customize it for each outlet. You're going to get access to my perfect pitch so that you can use it as a jumping off point. And we are together going to create a super subject line that gets opened so your pitch doesn't get lost in a sea of inbound emails. Because some podcasters get hundreds of pitches a month. Some editors get thousands of pitches a month. So you want to make sure that all of that effort is not wasted, right? Awesome. Okay. Week 3, you're going to get pitched. So I'm going to hold you accountable here. You're going to get my support to create your own pitches to your top 5 outlets so that you pitch your strategic media outlets during our time together, and also learn the replicable process for yourself so that going forward, you can get as much publicity as you want to grow your business. You're also going to get my help to design or choose a freebie or opt-in that's aligned with your main topics that we've already decided together so that it will be magnetic to your ideal customers. Week 4 is all about getting pumped. So depending on your preferred outlet, we're either going to get you interview ready by going through media training with me one-on-one so that you get more comfortable and confident, or I'm going to edit your article for you and help you choose a photo and title for maximum impact. You're also going to learn how to best capitalize on the acceptances as they start rolling in so that you can convert your new audience to cash-paying clients in a way that works specifically for you and your business, your package, your pricing, your offer. And you are going to make a plan to easily promote and keep repurposing your content so that you can maximize its impact and credibility and allow it to attract clients to you, not just when it airs, but long term. This is for you if you know who you're looking to reach and you're clear on who you want to talk to. You have something to sell so that when you reach your ideal people, you're ready to make a sale. This is not for you if you haven't yet chosen a business idea and you're not sure like what you want to do with that idea or what you want to sell. In those cases, I recommend a half-day intensive with me to create a plan for your niche, for your visibility, for your package. And there's a link to learn more about that on this page as well. Here's the deal. I know it can feel scary to put yourself out there in this way, but my goal for you is that you don't have to do it alone. I am here to simplify the process, to hold you accountable, and to teach you exactly how to deliver a great interview or article that will make a lasting impression on those who read or hear it and cause them to connect with you and grow that know, like, and trust factor, which is so important to them buying from you right away. So, are you ready to get successful, my friend? Here's the deal. Normally it costs at least $5,000 to work with me privately. However, I wanted to make this much more accessible for you. So you can have access because you are watching this, you're here with me, you showed up for yourself in this way. This 30-day deep dive private mentoring program is available for 2 payments of $547 or 1 payment of $997. That is the early bird price for the next few days. That ends on Tuesday. I want you to think about this. What would getting just 1 new client from your newfound visibility be worth to you? Just think about, with expert support, how fast 1 feature that leads to 1 client could more than pay for itself, right? One of my recent articles added over 200 people to my list who wanted to engage with me and learn more about the exact topic I was teaching. So imagine how quickly that can turn to paid clients. Remember that when you reach your audience where they already are, on the shows or the blogs that they already love, you instantly connect them and you position yourself as an expert in your niche. And this isn't a one-time shot like a Facebook ad can be, where they either see you, they opt in, they click, or they don't. This is a feature that will stay live. It will continue to pay dividends if you use it strategically, giving you the ability to build your list full of warm potential clients on autopilot for free. And it all starts with using the power of media to get you as seen and as successful as you want to be, which is why you're here, right? So you can get access to this business-changing mentorship for 2 payments of $547 or 1 payment of $997. Or if you're wondering if this is the right fit for you and you have some questions, you want to talk to me privately about it, you can book a call with me and we can chat about it. Beautiful. So I know that if you are here, you may have some questions that you really want answered. And I am here to do just that right now. Mallory says, I cannot recommend Christine McAlister enough. I have blossomed my business because of her. Thank you, Mallory. So I'm going to look back at the questions that were asked at the beginning. And if you've got questions, I want you to type them in. We're going to take questions for the next few minutes. Caitlin said that she was hoping to learn how to get leads through visibility and where the best places are to do that. Caitlin, I think that I answered your question in helping explain how to do informal market research to discover exactly where your audience is already. If you have follow-up questions about that, I'd love to answer those for you. Kalila asked if you have to make sure to have a website up and running before pitching. If not, where do the readers, listeners who want to know more about you go? It's a great question. It depends on what you feel is the best way to connect with you. So a lot of people will use something like Lead Pages to give a freebie and then hook that up to their email list, even if they don't have a website. You don't need a website in that case, because all you need is your lead page and you need your email list connected to it. So you could do that. So you don't have to let not having a website stop you, or you can direct them directly to your Facebook group if you have one. Beautiful. What other questions do you all have? Bridget asked, will we receive a written resume of the most important points that you mentioned? So this is your written resume, Bridget. I know from working with clients for years now that the best way for you to actually ingrain this is in your brain is to write it down for yourself, which is why I created that workbook for you, and you will be receiving this replay if you signed up for the workbook. That link is in the comments. So glad that you joined us. Thanks. Caitlin says, 100% thanks. Can't wait for our call Friday. Woohoo! You are so welcome, Caitlin. Very informational masterclass. Thank you. Love the workbook too. I'm so glad. Thank you for that, Mallory. Awesome. I'd love to hear any more questions that you all have if you join me live. That is one of my gifts to you, but it's not the only gift. If you have joined me live, if you're watching this live right now, as I am saying it at 12:56 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, then I am offering you an opportunity to have my eyes on the visibility work and publicity or lack thereof that you're currently getting in your business, so that you can get personal clarity on what's working and what's not working and what you can do to take your business to the next level privately with me. I am going to gift you a free 15-minute personalized publicity assessment where we will assess what you're currently doing for publicity so we can figure out what's working and what's not. I'm going to give you personalized tips applicable to you and your current situation in business. And I'm going to make sure you know exactly what to do next to use publicity and visibility to grow your business. I know that sounds like a lot for 15 minutes, but I'm fast. You can ask my clients. We'll get a ton done, and you will walk away feeling clear and totally focused on your exact next step to use publicity and visibility to grow your business. Now, I'm going to drop this link in the comments. This is only for those of you who are watching live, okay? This is only for those of you who are watching live. So if you know that this is something that you want, then I want you to go ahead and sign up for it so I know that you are here live on the call, right? Now, because of the popularity of these free calls, this is for first-time bookings only. If you've already had a free call with me, I'm sorry, but these calls are so popular and I'm focused on serving my clients at such a high level that if you've had a free call with me before, these are reserved for first-time bookings only. If you have any other questions, we've got 2 minutes left and I'm so happy to answer them for you live on this call. You've got access to me for 2 more minutes. And I want to thank you for joining me. Thank you for showing up for yourself, for your business, and for your curiosity and your dreams about publicity in this way. The Get Seen, Get Successful mentorship is the next step for you if you are ready to have me holding your hand and kicking your butt a little bit too through every step of this process, through each of these 4 steps, so that you can very quickly get the publicity and the features and the new leads and the clients and all of those things that you desire. Because I know it's just as possible for you as it is for me. There was a time when I had never written an article, never had appeared on a podcast, and it wasn't that long ago. So even if you are terrified, but you know and you believe this could be a great way to get in front of your ideal clients, to increase the know, like, and trust factor without having to just throw a bunch of money at Facebook ads or hire a Facebook ads expert or any of those things, but actually take on these skills. Learn these skills that are going to serve you throughout the life of this business and any other business you ever decide to create. These are what we call transferable skills. These work in any niche for any business. I'd be honored to work with you in the Get Seen, Get Successful mentorship. And again, the link is in the comments here, lifewithpassion.com/get-seen. If you can't see that, there are links to sign up, and there's also a link to book a call with me to find out if this is the right fit for you right now. We've reached the end of our hour. I want to respect your time, so thank you again for joining me live. Thank you if you're watching the replay on this. Much, much, much love to all of you. Have a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you soon.